Welcome all, Boone here from EWPRO. Getting straight into the weekly outlook, looking at the DXY on the daily time frame. I'm not convinced this is the low here in this wave C down, so we still may get a little bit more downside. We're really looking at this H4 for a while now. I was looking at this 333 or 335 for a very long time. At this stage we have 333. We may get 5 up in here. There still is a chance we do get 5. We don't have a bull hidden here. But this is looking rather choppy. This wave in here is looking very choppy. So it's going to be difficult to get in for a wave 5. It's very deep to this wave. Well, this wave 4 is entering the territory of this wave 2, obviously. It is becoming a larger correction as well. So ideally, this goes down, breaks the low, and then I can start to look for longer term buys. There really isn't much at all on it. I mean, if I was to trade this on the M15, I'd be looking at this bull hidden here for possibly, little flag in there just to go up and break this top and then possibly more downside. So it's really just scalping on the lower time frames at this stage. AU on the daily, still looking for more upside in here, possibly up to that 100 fib. I've been looking at this 333 or 335 in here for a very long time too on the AU, on the H4. We got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and I'm looking for 1, 2, and I'm looking for this 3 down here or 5. So I'm looking for another one down in here. So we are starting to get that. Yeah, at this stage it's so risky because it can go either way. We have a bull hidden here. So it really depends on this. This is looking rather choppy at the moment. So if we do get, correction in there and a sell setup, you could look to sell to go and break this low for like that A, B, C. Other than that, if this bull hidden plays out and it goes up and breaks this stop, I'd still be looking at all this as the B wave and then get that C down. So, yeah, I'd prefer to look for the buy. Sorry, for the sell for this C down, and then we can start to load up. Like, we'll wait until, if we get this C down, we'll see how far this C goes down, and if it's just 3 down, then we can load up on the buys to go up to that daily 100 fib. But yeah, at this stage, it's really, really tricky with that bull hidden there. It could go either way. GU on the daily, looking for more upside as well. On the lower time frame, we got this this flat in here we've been looking at. We had this nice impulse down here after these 5 up, and I was just looking for 3 up in here. We did get 5 up, looking at that as a B wave, and we were waiting for this for a very long time. This C down, and then we're looking for buy setups to buy. At this stage, you really need to wait for a larger correction to buy. I wouldn't be buying up the top here, but just change the color of that. So really, I would like to see a correction in here and then look for the buy. Rather than trying to scalp at the top of the market here. There really isn't much on this either. I I'd be looking for the sell, in the short term on the M15. I'd be looking for a sell. Like, we got a nice impulse down here. This looks rather corrective, so I'd be looking for another one down in here. But then after we have 3 down, we'll have to see how far this C wave goes. See if it turns motive, or just 3 down. And I dare say if we do get a lower low here, I dare say we will get like a bullish divergence in there. And then another one up before we get that larger correction. But yeah, again, there's really not much on it. EU on the daily looking for this C up. We're looking at the lower time frames like the other majors. We got the 5 up on the H4, an A, B, C. And I'm looking for this to go up and break the top. It's very slow here. And there is a bear hidden. If I just zoom in a little bit, we do have a bear hidden between these 2 tops here. So, this still can give us another one down to complete this wave C. I'd still be looking at a wave C if we get a lower low here and then go up and break the top. GU was a little bit better because in here, this would be a better buy if we get a correction, because this top here was broken over here. So, if we get a correction in here, I'll be more inclined to trade GU than EU, because GU doesn't have that bear hidden. So yeah, it's quite risky at this stage. This may just come up here, break that top without breaking that top, then give you another one down. So yeah, you have to be careful at this stage. NU's looking nicer. On the daily, looking for that A, B, and we get a C up here, up to that 100 fib, or close to that 100 fib. Getting a correction in here on the lower time frames. We did get a 333 here, complex correction. We got that like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 in here. Still may give another one down, and give us a 335 like the rest of them. Not convinced that we're not going to get a 5th wave down in here yet before we get that A, B, C. So again, got to be very careful, wait for nice entries to buy. At this stage, it's a sell. On the H1, we got an impulse down. If we get a correction here, you could look for that 5th wave down and then look to buy. So we'll have to wait next week to see if this is correct. If it looks corrective, we could look for that C down. Ideally, it goes and breaks that low, and then we can start to load up on the buys for that larger C up to that 100 fib on the daily. There's quite a bit of room up to that daily 100 fib, so just waiting patiently for the buy. GY, looking for this like A, B, C. It possibly can get up to that 100 fib, or it may even go and break the top. But I'm looking at all this as a B wave. We've got 3 waves, so I'm looking at A, B, and we get a C down here before we get more upside. The H4 is what we've been looking at. Sorry. So this was looking rather bullish in here, and then it started to fall over in here. I was just sort of looking for 3 down in here. But it did go a little bit further, but now we've got an impulse up. So again, if we get a correction in here, you can look for another one up. You're buying at the top of the market. this top here has already been, we've already got a higher high here over here. So it's just scalping again. If you get a correction in here, a nice bullish setup, well, then you could look to buy. Pretty much just a scalp up to that 100 fib on the daily. UY, looking at that, we sort of had three up in here. We had an impulse down here and never went and broke that low. So I've been saying pretty much keep out of it. This is looking very corrective. So I'm sort of looking for another one down to break this low, and we sort of get an A, B, C in here before we get like three, possibly 3 or 5 up in here before we get more downside. Yeah. Again, I think we may just have a bull hidden here too. So got to be very careful with the direction here as well. I think we do have like a bull hidden here. So this, and we sort of already have 3 down. So this could give us another one up in here to go and break the top before we get that one down. This one's becoming quite complex. This correction in here. I was looking for that like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 in here. That one never went, and then get 3 or 5 up in here. Unfortunately, we didn't get this one down. It started to go, but yeah, instead gave us a higher high. So yeah, this one's quite tricky, and really it can go either way with what we have at this stage. Like I said, we have possible bull hidden here. It can with 3 waves down, so it can go up and break the top, or this turns motive in here and we get like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down in here. So yeah, really difficult at this stage to say which way it could go. The CAD, this wave 4 has gone into the territory of this wave 2, like I've mentioned. Really waiting for this time factor, like I've gone over many times. That's the safest way. Wait for this time factor here and then start to see if we've got a complete correction in here, and then we can look for a buy for a wave 5, or it doesn't give us that buy and we get more downside. This is starting to look quite choppy in here. Like I said last week, there's 2 scenarios here. This either takes off from here, which is, I'm not really looking at it that way. I'm more inclined to look at this as a WXY, an X2, and then we get a Z up. So this could be quite choppy here as well. We get a correction in here, and then an A, B, C in the X2, and then we get a wave Z up, and then it comes down and falls over to break the low. So that's what I'm looking at. Yeah. I mean, you're just scalping, but you got to be very careful here. It may not go up and break the top. That's the thing. This is looking quite corrective, very choppy. So compared to this wave here, so like I just mentioned, we may get an A, B, C in here for X2, and then we get that Z up. USD Swiss franc. We've already got the C down. We've got that A, B, C. Excuse me. Just waiting to see on the lower time frames if this is the low or not, like on many of the other pairs. On the H4, I'm still looking at it as rather corrective. Been looking at this for a very long time too. This 333 or 335 here, we got like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, possibly 4 here, and we get a 5th one up before we go and break the low. This one's looking more bullish here. to give us that fifth wave up. And then, you know, you could look for a sell to go and break the low, and then I'd be looking for the buys. So we are starting to come to the end of the correction finally. But yeah, once we get this fifth wave up, you know, I'd be looking at that as possibly the end of the correction, and then I'd start to look for sells. At this stage, there really isn't a buy on it either. We do have 3 down in here. Excuse me. We got like 1, 2, 3 in here. Could look to buy for that wave 5. But unfortunately, there really isn't a buy set up on it. That was the problem, you know, because if you look here, against this top up here, we have a bear hidden here. So that's why it's not very nice, but we are breaking out in here. So I'd be more inclined to buy for that wave 5. We're breaking out of this trend line in here on the lower time frame. So you could go down to the lower time frame, scout this wave 5 up. You'd want a nice correction in here, of course, before you look for that buy. And yes, ideally it gives you that fifth one up. EG on the daily, it's already broken the top. We've already got this fifth wave up here. We're looking for this fifth wave to go and break the top with that bull hidden there. It's done that already. So pretty much waiting for, well, there's 2 scenarios here. We've got 5 up, so we'll either get a larger correction in here and another 5 up, or this comes down and breaks a low. So, yeah, we've already got the 5 up. So pretty much staying out of this, you know, we never got the 5 up on the H4. I was looking for 5 up in here. It tried to go, never did. So yeah, I'd be staying out of this, because at this stage, you know, we sort of have 1, 2, 3 down at this stage. So, you know, can give us another one up. Yeah. But again, you know, there really isn't a buy set up on it. And if you are looking to buy, you've got to be very careful, because here we have a bear hidden at this stage. So it still can give us another one down. Ideally, if you're looking for the buy, you want to break this top here and then get a bullish setup, correction, and a bullish setup to buy. Yeah, and because that fifth wave on the daily is already complete, you know, can be complete. You know, it can be very choppy for a very long time after those 5 up. So, yeah, very risky. WTI, looking for this A, B, C. I'm looking for this C down in here before we get an A, B, C, and then we get that larger A, B, C. This took a long time to go in here too. It was a rather large correction in here. It's finally gone, but you know, I wouldn't be jumping into a sell now. It's already gone and broken this low, and we're getting that bullish divergence. So ideally, this does come down and break that low, may get down to this 100 fib here. Then if we get a buy set up, I'd be looking to buy. Like I've mentioned, you pretty much missed the sell. If you're looking for the sell, you've already missed it. You know, it can be completed any time, because we already have 3 down in here now. I mean, I'm looking for this to perhaps turn motive when we get 5 down in here. But if you want to wait for the sell, you got to wait for a wave 4 before you can trade that wave 5 down. So at this stage, there really isn't much on it. And yeah, I wouldn't be selling down in here if you're not already on it. Gold, like I've mentioned many times before, you know, really need to wait for this time factor. I'm waiting for that time factor, same as 2. So we got 1, 2, 3, waiting for wave 4, and then I can trade a wave 5 up. Until I get this time factor here, I'm pretty much staying out. It's very corrective. I've been looking at this 333 or 335 for a very long time now. So, unfortunately, if I just zoom in a little bit here, unfortunately, like I've mentioned, we didn't get 3 down in here, like 3 down in here, because that would have ended it for that 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Instead, I'm still looking at all this as the B wave, because we never went down and broke this low. So this is becoming very difficult here as well. There was a sell set up in here. It come back, took me out at break even, but on the lower time frames. But I was looking for the sell in here for, like the A, B, C up in here, and we get another one down for that A, B, C here. It's looking very choppy on the lower time frame. Unfortunately, it's we had like sell set up in here to sell. This here, I think, has already gone and broken the low. It has. So we already have like 3 down in here. So again, you may get another one up in here, and then you may get a chance to sell. But it becomes risky after you've already got a lower low, with bullish divergence as well. So it's not really giving us much at all. Like I said, I tried to sell this, and in here somewhere, must have been in here because I had a line in here. Got into a sell around here somewhere. It went, and then it come back, took me out of break even before it went down and broke the low. But yeah, so it's very difficult, very choppy at this stage. Silver, we got the 5 up, larger correction, and we've gone up and broken the top. We're just waiting to see if this is the actual top here. H4, we got the 5 up. Yeah. Again, we got a possible bull hidden here. This low over here hadn't been broken over here, so yeah, this could be a B, C flat here. Goes up again, breaks the top. There's a couple of scenarios here. I'd be pretty much staying out of it. I'd be more interested in a sell on silver. But again, it's just not giving us a nice setup. So, yeah, we sort of had a nice impulse there, breaking this top. Got a correction here, and it's already gone up and broken the top. I don't believe we got bearish divergence in there, and we don't have a bull hidden here for, if this is a flat for another one up. So I'd be pretty much staying out of this at this particular stage, because may just give us another one up in here and we get like 3 up, impulse, correction, and then another impulse. After the 5 up on the H4, I'm sort of looking for a larger correction. So, I'd be very cautious in buying. You'd want to get it to break even as quickly as possible. Bitcoin is very similar to silver. On the daily, we got the 5 up, larger correction that's gone up and broken the top. We do have bearish divergence here on the daily, so I'll be more interested in a larger correction now. There is possibly a sell here. This was looking bullish here to buy, and it's already gone and broken the top. So even on the H4, we do have bearish divergence here now. More interested in the H1 because we got a nice impulse down. So if we get some sort of a correction in here, some sort of a flat, I'd be looking to sell it. But again, we need this C up in here and then a sell set up on the lower time frames to sell. We'll just see if we get a nice correction in there. If we do, well, we can look to sell. I'm not interested in the buy, especially after we got a lower low here and a nice impulse down. So it's more scalping, but to the downside. Yeah, we got those 5 up, like I mentioned. So on the H4, so really need a larger correction. So it could be choppy, but if you get in on the first opportunity, like say we got a flat here, and you get in on that first opportunity, well, it could get quite a bit out of it. S&P 500, we got a larger correction and we've gone up and broken the top. I mean, this is already sort of played out. Was looking for a higher high here. We're looking at that flat there. We got a higher high there. We had the bearish divergence, but then we had that bull hidden. And that's gone up and broken the top, and it's quite choppy. But this is quite choppy, breaking the top. So if we get another one down in here for an A, B, C, and then a buy setup, well, then you could look to buy it. I wouldn't be looking to buy up here, that's for sure. But not with all that bearish divergence. But if we got a flat here, running or expanding flat, well, then you could look to scalp. Basically, you're scalping, going with the overall trend on the daily, the weekly, the monthly. But yeah, until you got this C down and a bullish setup, yeah, there is no sell setup on it either at this stage. Still looking at that as the B wave on the daily. On the H1. Been looking at this as a correction after this wave down. So yeah, but unfortunately there isn't, even on the lower time frames, there is no sell on it. If anything, it's still bullish because here we have a bullish hidden. So this still can give us another one up in here before we get the downside. So you've got to be very careful. AU 200, we had a larger correction. We've gone up and broken the top. So pretty much it's the same as last week. We've just gone up a little bit higher. Before I'd look to buy, I'd need a correction on the daily to even consider buying this now. It's right up the top of the market. Need a correction before we start buying. Unless you're just scalping up here, but we're starting to get a lot of bearish divergence. And again, there is no sell set up yet. For the sell, I'd like to see it come down, break this low. And then if you got a correction, well, you could look to sell. But until that happen, unless you're looking for a buy, yeah, you're pretty much scalping right up the top of the market. Very similar to S&P 500. The FTSE, nothing really to see here either. We've got a higher high here. So, again, we need a correction before I'd be looking to buy. H4, we got bearish divergence, but no sell set up. H1, overall, we got bearish divergence. But again, here, we haven't broken this low here. So we have a possible bull hidden. So, if this does look corrective in here, you can look to sell. But you want a nice entry because this can, because we have that possible bull hidden here, this may give you a nice sharp move up in here and a buy setup. And it goes up and breaks the top and then comes down and gives you the largest sell. So again, ideally this does come down, breaks this low, and then gives us a correction. Then I'll be more inclined to give it a go for a sell, for a longer term sell in that daily correction. But yeah, it can, at this stage it can go either way, so it's quite risky. So lastly, the DAX. This one had the ball hidden on it in here to go up and break the top. It's done that. Still looking very much bullish up here though. So this may turn into a, I think I did show this last week. We get 1, 2, 3 up in here, and then we get an A, B, C, some sort of a flat, a correction, and then we can start to look to buy. Got to wait for a nice larger correction before we can start to buy. So it's pretty much playing out how I was looking at it last week. Get another one up in there. We get a nice C wave down in here, and then a buy set up. Well, then you could look to buy. Till that happened, I'd be pretty much staying out of it. You're pretty much just scalping. I mean, you've missed this one in here to break this top for those 3 up. You could look to sell after you get this C up in here. You could look to sell that C down, and then look for a buy for the larger like A, B, C. So I hope you got something out of this weekly outlook. If you did, please hit the like button, share and subscribe. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you out there next week.